Hello everyone. So welcome to another session. Uh, in this, we are going to discuss a new feature which has come in Fusion Payables. Use of transaction account default. We call it TAD in short. So use of TAD to default charge account in payable invoices. So before I go to the setup or applications, let me just briefly explain what is this feature all about. So, in a normal business, whenever supplier, payables clerk receives an invoice, assume that the clerk received a manual invoice, so they key in the invoice detail. And when they key in the invoice detail at that time, they have to enter the charge account as well, the expense account. Now, that expense account is based on different attributes of the invoice. Maybe, let us say, what kind of item is that, what kind of services is that, which has been provided in that particular invoice. Based on that, uh, the payable clerk recalls manually that what should be the account and key in that on the invoice. Generally, it's a rule-based derivation. Like if material is this, then this should be the account, so on and so forth. It can be another attribute to derive the charge account. Now, currently, the payable clerk, as per the if we do not use this feature which has come recently, then in that case, the person who is entering the invoice must know the organization policy, must know the payables rule to derive the charge account. He has to know that. Now, what this feature can do, all those business rules we can configure in system. Now, payable clerk need not memorize or need not refer any business rule. Those rules will be configured in system, and those rules will be like attribute driven. Okay. Let me take an example. Let us say that if, very simple example, if the description of the line, invoice line is legal fee, then the natural account should be this. If the description of the invoice line is other fee, then the account should be this one. So this kind of rules, assume this is the organization policy, but if you do not use this feature, then this has to be memorized. This has to be referred by the payable clerk and derive manually and enter in that invoice. But now, this rule that if invoice description is legal fee, account should be this. If the invoice line description is other fee, then the account should be this. This we can configure in system, and system will take care of derivation of the charge account. So this is the scenario. Now I have taken a very simple scenario. The we can have we can have multiple attributes driven rule, so that anyway we can configure on our own once we know how this works in system. So the business case what I have taken to explain this feature is, assume that the organization has a policy that the if invoice description is legal fee, then the natural account of the invoice to the charge account should be this. If it is other fee, then the natural account of the charge should be this. And by default, also we can give some account, like if no description is given, then what should be the default of that particular account. So this is what we are going to see today. So first we will see the configuration, and then we will test it. Okay. So let me go to application. First, let me show the configuration, the step-by-step configuration, which we should perform. So I go to payables. Business case, what I have taken is related to, I will use mapping set. Okay. So first I will define the mapping set. Now this rule, if we are familiar with the SLA, the sub-ledger accounting configuration, it uses the TAT uses the same configuration. So whatever configuration I'm doing is based on this example what I have taken. So if you have any other example, just refer how the subledger accounting configuration works. Accordingly, you can do the configuration. So in my case, first I will define a mapping set. where I will say that if description is legal fee, this is the charge account, natural account. If it is other fee, then this is the natural account. I have already defined it, so I will just show you that. So if you see, this is the mapping set where input source is invoice line description. If you have more input source, you can select accordingly, but I have only one input source based on which the account should be derived. If you have multiple, then accordingly you have to select multiple input source and you have to provide those values in the mapping set. This is valid for this particular chart of account. Here what I have given the mapping. So legal fee, this is the account. Other fee, this is the account. If nothing is given, default, this is the account. So this is the mapping set, what I have defined. That I will define account rule. So our chart of account has multiple segment, whereas mapping set I have defined is only for natural account segment. So where from other segments will come for the chart of account. So for that I have defined one default account rule where I have given the complete combination of the charge account. So by default, this will be combination. And on that, I will override this segment based on the mapping set. So that's the idea. So one account rule I have defined default. Then I have defined another account rule where I have attached the mapping set. So this is the account rule. This account rule is based on segment. So this account rule will be used to derive a account segment, natural account, and it will refer this mapping set which I just showed you in my definition. So this is the another setup. Then the third setup which we need to do is this one. Define transaction account definition. So system has given 4 accounts by default. So for these type of lines, we can define the account defaulting rules. Okay. So now let us see the configuration which I have done for item expenses. So this what does this configuration say? It says that by default you refer this account rule. Just I showed you the complete combination where I have given. So let me just take an example and show it. Okay, that will be easier. So let me just first show it again. What is the default account rule? So whenever I refer this account rule, this complete combination will be derived. Okay. Now let me show you the that definition. So what I'm saying here for item expenses, first refer this rule. So what this output of this rule will be this complete segment of the complete chart of account. Okay, and then on that override output of the respective segment. So I have given the segment override segment only for this particular account rule. So what it will do? It will first derive this complete segment, then it will refer the mapping set what I have defined. This is the mapping set. From here, it will take the output. So assume the output is this. Then it will replace this one here. And this is how it will derive the complete account segment. So I assume you guys are aware of the how subledger accounting configuration. The concept is same here. Okay. So after doing this, we need to uh, attach this tag to subledger accounting method. Okay. Mhm. Let me see where is that. Yeah. Manage subledger accounting options. I've done this for US ledger. Payables module in accounting option, I think, yeah. Here, you define the tag which we have defined just now. You attach the tag which we defined. Now, after this, one more configuration, then we are done. So next is go to invoice options. For the respective business unit. And here you say account derivation method is transaction account builder. Okay. These are the setup which we need to do. So we are done with the setup. Now let us test the configuration. So what I will do that I will create one invoice and I will create two lines. Rather, I will create three lines. In one line, I will give the description this one. In another line, I will give the description this one. And on third, I will give no description. We'll take the default also. So in the first line, this should be the account derived. The second line, this should be the account derived. And in the third line, I think it was 65110 if I'm not wrong. This is the account should be derived. The default value for the mapping set which I had defined. Okay. So our expectation is this, that once we derive the account for the invoice, charge account should be derived like this. So let us do a test transaction. So I create one invoice. Okay, so I will define three lines. One of amount 1000. Where is the description field? Here the description. Second, let us say for 2000. Description. Third, assume of 3000. No description. After this, select all the line for which you want to derive the account. So let me all these three lines you have selected, then click on derive account button. So this button will be enabled if for the respective in the invoice options of the respective business unit, we have defined the account default. Just now define the invoice option, right? So if in the invoice option I have selected some value, then this button will be enabled. Otherwise, this button will not be enabled. Warning. So now see that this got defaulted here. So 65210, 65210, 65220, 65110. So this is what we expected, and our configuration has uh, derived those accounts. So this is how we can use this feature. I hope this video is useful for you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.